Episode 3 of The Beardcaster. My name is Scott Sakura, and I am, you guessed it, The Beardcaster. Welcome to the next episode of The Beardcaster. Like I said, my name is Scott Sakura, and I'm going to be the captain of this ship on this next journey for you, even though I was the captain the last 2 times. Well, let's start this one off by thank you for returning. Thank you for being a returning customer from the last few visits to our wonderful store here. I'd like for everyone to, if you're new to us here today, please, by all means, go check us out on iTunes. You can subscribe and rate. That'd be awesome. You'd be like my best friend, leave a response. We'll email some stuff back and forth. Then you can also go to the Stitcher, or as the kids call it, Stitcher. You can also subscribe there, check the show out there, and get any updates, whatever. So check those 2 out, and if you go to... That was me itching my beard. Did you hear that? I had a little itch there. It's been dry out. We got a nice snowstorm going on by us right now, so got to make sure you get that oil in there to keep it all nice and moist, because this time of year can be quite dry and damaging on your beard. So, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. You can go to my website, www.thebeardcaster.com. You can find a whole bunch of cool stuff there. You can get linked up to our Facebook page. You can get linked up to our Twitter page. I have an Instagram page, but I don't think I have a link yet for that. I'm setting up a YouTube page right now, but I don't really have too much comment or content there quite yet. So I'm going to be shooting some dumb little videos and stuff here and there and posting those up there. Probably nothing that's going to be overly interesting to watch, but I'm going to do it anyways. You never know. Something cool might come out of it. And I'd also like to invite anyone and everyone, you and your mom or your dad, grandparents, cousins, whoever, if you're interested, send me an email. You can contact me at thebeardcaster@gmail.com. Just send me an email about your thoughts on anything, and we're going to start reading some of those live on the show, even though the show is not live. But I will read them, and I will comment, answer questions. If you have suggestions for guests, that's even cooler too. Whether or not that'll happen is another thing. So just send me an email, like I said, at thebeardcaster@gmail.com. I'd also like to thank everyone that's checked out the episode so far. And like I said, episode 1 was a little struggle to do, but episode 2 definitely turned out much better. And thank you for Josh to be on there and talk about his life, and I thought it was quite interesting. I really did. So check all that stuff out. Another thing I'd like you to check out while you're on my website is to go to the store. If you go to the store page on the website, you will see it takes you to a really cool place called the Beardcaster Bazaar. It's not really bizarre, but it is a place where you can probably find the most extensive collection of beard and mustache products, supplies, everything. I took a lot of time to put everything together into there. So, just go in there if you want some really cool beard t-shirt, or I don't know, a comb or a brush, maybe some oil you want to try, some shampoo. I don't know. I got lots of different things in there, so please feel free to check all that out. While you're there, you can also look at the header on my website, and there is a header for a wonderful product called Waffen der Whisker Oil. They are my sponsor. I love them. I love Matt. I love all of his products. And I wrote a blog the other day that I posted. It was in regards to, like I said earlier, it's this time of year when it gets really dry out, the humidity drops down, and you wake up in the morning, your nose is all dry, and your lips are dry, and your skin's dry and cracking. And I suffer from that because I work outside all day, so my skin gets really dry and cracked, and it's just uncomfortable. So a couple of years ago, when we were trying all of Matt's products out, he gave me some bottles to try out, and I tried a couple different ones out, and was noticing that not only my beard was looking good and smelling good, which it should with all the Waff and whisker oil products, but my skin, my hands weren't cracked and chapped like they usually are. So I was wondering, I'm like, that's pretty odd. So I started noticing that my skin was actually, the oil was getting into my skin and working in there good and keeping it nice and moist. So thanks to that, that's great. And my lips weren't getting chapped either, because the oil would get onto my lips a little bit, and voila, it's a cure-all for everything. So definitely check them out. I highly recommend them. My wife uses the products on her arms and her hair too. So it's not only for men, their beards, but it's also for your women and their hair and their skin. So please check them out. So let's see. Who has seen the new Star Wars movie? Well, probably pretty much everyone. So I'm going to try to record a fun little roundtable episode with a good friend of mine coming up, where we discuss the movie and stuff. So if you have any, like I said, questions, comments, you want to bring up a topic or anything, just like I said, please email me at thebeardcaster@gmail.com. We're going to discuss the movie. I normally don't sit around and talk about movies, but this movie is, like I said, I have a blog on my page. Just go to the blogs that explains my whole history of Star Wars and why it is such an important part of my life. So we're going to do get a couple people together, and we're going to discuss that. So that's going to be in an upcoming episode. All right, so let's see. The next thing I have is, like I said, one of my cool things that I have on my website is the Help a Stranger link. So if you click on that, it'll take you to a random GoFundMe page. Well, I had set up a link to this. It's for a guy named Isaac Durig. And so if you would have listened to the last show, I read the GoFundMe campaign that was set up by a friend of his, or family friend. And so since then, and once I posted the last episode, we had a little beard competition, a local one, and a whole bunch of people came out. It was great. The turnout was excellent. A lot of cool people. It was great to see a lot of friends again. So it was a really good time. So we were able to all chip in together. We made donations. The entry fees were donated. There was a couple different charities. I don't remember what the other one was, but anyway, so we ended up donating $328 towards Isaac's GoFundMe campaign. So I want to thank you to everyone that came out that night and donated money and spent the evening with us having a good time. And that's what this is all about. So please check that out. I'm going to leave this page up for a little bit longer. So if you feel in the spirit of giving, please go to this GoFundMe page. Just like I said, go to the Help a Stranger link on the top of my page on the beardcaster.com website, and it'll take you right there. So if you do that, that's really awesome. So at the event, there was a judge, and her name was Rachel. And I've known Rachel for a few years, and known her husband Rocky, and they're family competitors, meaning that Rocky's always competing. He's always inventing some new weirdness to him and shaving and growing faster than any man I've ever known. But his wife recently got into the whole, well, not recently, within the past 30, 40 years, I think, she said, got into the bearding stuff too. Like, she was always coming to the competitions and so on, and she started designing her own fake beards for these competitions. So over the past year, she's come up with these most amazing creations, and thought it would be really cool to get a woman's perspective on A, beard competitions, and B, what it's like to actually spend the time to create these different types of fake beards and compete in the Whiskerina classes, or there's like the women's realistic, the women's freestyle, and it's mostly the women's creative. So I got a chance to sit down with her for a while and chit-chat about some things, and I'd like to play you that little interview now, and I hope you enjoy. And action. Okay, let's just start this off by, who are you? What's your name?
My name is Rachel. I'm a Reno.
And you said you're kind of young.
Yeah, I'm 29.
All right.
So I'm not like super young, but
you're young enough that we know
I was
that
born in the 80s, so
right.
A lot of references might be maybe.
So you're definitely not named after Rachel from the TV show Friends.
No, but I recently took a quiz on Facebook, like who would be who in Friends, and I got Rachel.
Well,
but
of course
I think maybe
perfect.
Facebook gave it to me. And they also made my husband Rocky Ross, so I think maybe it knew what was up.
Okay, very cool. Okay, so tonight we're at the Lake Tavern in wonderful Cortland, Ohio.
Super wonderful.
Yes. This is the third annual beard and mustache competition they've had here at the Lake Tavern. And
I thought it was the fourth.
Well, it's like 3.5.
Oh, 3.5.
Yes, because they've done one right by Thanksgiving every year, and then last year they did one in the summertime outside. There was a lot of people here. It was really fun.
Oh, okay.
You didn't go to that one?
No, I actually have not been here before.
I know it's technically 4.
See, that's what I said.
But, sorry, we could... Okay, so, the reason I wanted to talk to you, because I wanted a woman's perspective.
Okay.
Okay. I once read an article where you were quoted as saying, beards, they're gross, I'll never have anything to do with them.
Me?
It was in
I
Time
said that?
magazine.
Oh, Time magazine, okay.
Is that true or not true?
I don't think that's true.
Okay.
I have actually always been a lover of beards.
Okay, so let's get to the core of your issues.
Okay. I have quite a few, so.
Well, so let's start with the beard issues.
All right.
Okay, to talk about okay, you're a girl.
Yes.
And obviously you're attracted to men.
Correct. I am married to a man.
And he has a beard.
He does have a beard.
Okay, now, throughout your life, have you always been attracted to guys with beards?
Yes.
Okay.
Beards and tattoos. Those have always been my two things.
All right. And why is that? Because it makes them like burly and...
I think so, yeah. I think that a beard just overall enhances most men's appearance. Like I've known quite a few guys now who, have beards. They're in the beard community. And I've seen pictures of them from back in the day, like maybe pre-beard. And I just think, oh my God.
Like they look like a bunch of little sissy squat-to-peas?
Totally. Something. Like they just look not attractive. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
It's like a beard really does enhance, I think, most men's appearance.
All right. So you're definitely a pro-beard woman.
Pro-beard. And I will say I am a fan of the full beard. I don't typically find partial beards or mustaches to be,
so
which I understand hits home to you.
Oh, no, I don't really care. I've always, from day one, I've always grown goatees, and I just have a thing with having too much hair on my cheeks.
Okay.
I look at myself, and I'd rather have like more of a long, streamlined look, and so I keep not today, because I know you're looking at my cheeks being like, this is the longest I've ever seen your hair on your
They're
face.
not clean shaven.
No. But I've always liked I like the big fullness and the length, but I also like the slick and clean look. So that's why I've tried growing full beards before, but I feel gross.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one cool thing about beards is they come in many sizes and shapes, and I've seen very unique things shaved into them, and
such as
my own husband alone has
yes,
he's placed in every category there is.
Yeah,
so
he's a phenom when it comes to growing.
He's kind of the bearded chameleon, if you will, because he literally just does whatever he feels like at the time. So, yeah, I don't know. I've seen, like shaved down the middle, shaved on the sides, just styled. It's like, I just think it's cool that every guy kind of just grows what they like, and that's what it's about, like be comfortable with how you look, so you rock that goatee, but other guys might just rock the full beard or the mustache or the chops, and that's the beauty of it. Beards come in multiple shapes and sizes, so.
So when you met Rocky, what did he have?
He had just a chin strap, if you will. The short, just along the jawline.
So if I would have been you, I would have just went up to him and smacked it right off of him.
I actually did not care for him the first night that we met. And I actually left the party I was at because he was bothering me that much. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, he was also wearing Velcro shoes and a headband made out of a shirt sleeve and a sweater that was probably 4 times too big for him. So picture that, if you will.
Wow. So
real winner there.
Yeah. Well, but okay. So I'm trying to picture this in my head because obviously this is an audio recording. You're not going to see a picture.
Yeah, correct.
Well, I do have pictures up on the website, so you can look at those. You'll find a picture of Rocky in there somewhere. But regardless, okay. So I'm just picturing this chin strap, like beard on him, and
very short, like just barely grown in, like this, if you will.
Yeah.
On that you have a couple weeks growth there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
couple weeks growth chin strap.
Okay,
yeah.
So he annoyed the shit out of you the first time. So then, how does second time come around with this?
My friend, actually, at the time, like my best friend who I hung out with every night, she actually had a crush on him. And so then the following night we were hanging out, and she was like, "Oh, I invited that Rocky guy to come hang out." And I was like, "Oh, great. Like, that's lame. Blah, blah, blah." And then we got to talking, and...
Did you tell him his chin strap was stupid?
I didn't.
Would you now, knowing...
I tell him all the time, if we met currently, I don't know that things would pan out the same, but I was 19 when I met him. So, you've got that young, kind of stupid...
Young and naive.
Exactly. You don't know what you want type mentality, and he did have a lot of tattoos, so that was a booster there, but...
Okay, so...
But then he's always had some kind of facial hair. I've only ever seen him in 10 years clean-shaven one time, and it was pretty crazy.
I know. I think I remember seeing a picture on Facebook, and it was
You probably did, and it was...
And I think we probably really made fun of him really bad. I think he got a lot of shit over that
Every
one.
time he does anything, he gets a lot of shit for that. So it's like... Yeah.
All right.
He's always had some form of facial hair, but my favorite is the full beard.
Okay, now let's go back even further here. Did your father, grandfather, aunts and uncles have mustaches and beards?
Well, it's funny you mention ants.
And I don't mean like the 6-legged black kind.
Totally. My dad has always had like a goatee. Not like yours. It was never that long, but just your standard grown-in goatee. I just always remember looking at men that had actually grown out a full beard. Like, wow. Like, look at that. Like, that's, like, to me, how I always pictured in my head, like, a man to look was just with a big, full beard.
So you are always turned on by Uncle Jesse?
Like from Full House?
How about Dukes of Hazzard?
Okay.
I did when you
I
did
told
say
you
that,
I'm
though.
29, so.
Yeah, I know, but everyone loves Uncle Jesse from Full House, but
Totally.
cut it out. Okay, so growing up, it was something that was there, something you'd noticed.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I necessarily had a bunch of relatives with beards, but whenever I would see, like, a nice big beard, I remember thinking, like, wow, that's so manly. Like, for some reason, that's what I correlated with being so manly, was this big full beard.
All right. Okay, so now let's jump ahead in time. Okay, so Rocky decides he wants to get involved with a beard club.
Okay.
And you're obviously tagging along with this whole venture with him. So explain that whole thing.
I am now, but he probably went to beard stuff without me for like a good year.
All right.
And I kind of made fun of it. Like, I was like, what do you mean a beard club? Like, is that like just you and a bunch of other dudes standing around like complimenting each other on your beards? Like, I don't really get that. So I wasn't really on board with it at first, but then he started bringing me to stuff, and then I started making friends in the community, and, you know, there's a whole women's division out there that this is actually my first year really competing in that world. Like, I would just for probably a year or so be a spectator, and so that's pretty cool.
No, just recording a little bit. Even though we didn't meet, but Doug. Doug White. All right.
He's the east side guy.
Oh, all right.
Do the east side.
Okay.
This is the other east side.
Doug White. Doug White. Doug White. All right. Doug White. I'm saying it. All right. Okay. So where I was going with that is like you pretty much Rocky getting involved in a club, your reaction to that, and then how you obviously have explained it, but how you went from being on the sides to getting involved in the quote-unquote Whiskerina side of it. I mean, how did that develop?
Well, like this past year, at one of the competitions, there was, you know, something going on that like the biggest represented club would win this coveted gnome, which I don't know.
The Hampton Roads gnome.
Yes, he's pretty infamous at this point.
Yeah.
But this was
it's
back.
more of an East Coast thing. So anyone on the West Coast that might be listening to this.
So it's this traveling gnome that the most represented club basically wins at these different competitions. And so this was in Richmond, Virginia, and we were trying to win it, and the president of our beard club was like, you need to compete, we need competitors, we need the numbers. And so I actually wore somebody else's beard for that one, and that was my first one that I competed in. But I wore this and I didn't make it, but I had a ton of fun wearing it, and I actually wound up tying for first in that competition, and it was just a ton of fun. And I was like, you know, I didn't think I would like it because I'm typically more reserved and introverted, and so I didn't think I'd like being in front of people and whatever. But after doing it that first time, I was like, you know what? I think I need to start making beards and competing. And so that was back in April of this year, and then I competed probably like 5 or 6 more times throughout the year. And then I've placed in all but one of them. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I know
I've had a lot of fun with it this year.
And you've definitely had some extremely creative styles and looks. And I mean, the last one in the Pittsburgh competition, the Queen of Hearts.
Correct.
One.
Yeah,
that one's amazing.
Well, thank you. Thanks. That one was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah. So when you're thinking about making something, what's your creative process?
I usually try to.
Where do you draw your inspiration from?
Well,
what's your motivation?
There's a few things that go into that. I typically try to think of things that I enjoy, you know, like whether it be a movie or just something in general, like very vague, you know. Like
okay, I'm giving you an idea. Gone with the Wind. What kind of beard would you make?
Okay, I would probably dress like Scarlett O'Hara. Okay, big gown and all. And then I would try to craft a beard to pertain to that person. So maybe it would have like a plantation scene, like I don't know. Like the thing for me is I usually pick a costume first, and then I will build the beard around that. So
you could do you could dress like her and then have mountains sticking off your face.
Or I could have a burning Terra. You know what I mean? Like you basically like you referenced my Queen of Hearts, and that was in Pittsburgh, and it was held at a casino. So I kind of always knew in my head I wanted to do something casino related. And so I was like, okay, I can make a playing card beard. And then I was like, well, dress as the Queen of Hearts, and that will just push it, over the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it's making the whole ensemble just flow and match. And so, I don't know. Like the last beard I made was actually from Wayne's World, and I went as Garth, and Rocky actually went as Wayne. And I made my beard look like a tiny TV, and I had an iPad in it playing the movie.
Wow.
So so it's like you pick an idea and you kind of go with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
absolutely. That's very interesting.
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, and I feel like the possibilities are endless when it comes to women creative beards.
Well, I just find it extremely fascinating because, me getting into this 3 years ago, I had, God, Seth is so loud. Seth is sorry. He said he's okay.
Seth is so sorry.
It's all right. So sorry.
We're trying to have a good time here. You guys are like in recording session. Well, what the hell?
You just wait your turn, sir.
I just hoping y'all are picking up this side conversation.
Actually, we won't know until I go and listen to it.
We were wondering if you were going to hear it or not.
We'll see if it picked it up.
Some parts of it were quiet, but other parts were...
We shall see. We shall see. All right. So, okay. Next step I want to go to. So, what's your take on the charity aspect of it?
As far as
I
think it's great. I think there's a ton of money being raised for different charities, and really it's all it costs you is having a fun night out. You know what I mean? Like just even Pittsburgh, they raised $7,000 last month, and that's crazy. That's such an astronomical amount of money.
Oh, I know.
For people just having a good time and hanging out with their beard friends, and it's like they gave $7,000 to the animal shelter or whatever
the animal shelter in
Pittsburgh. So that's amazing. $7,000.
And I mean, it's not, and it's not like it's you have all these giving people that are showing up to these events. They're paying their entry fee, which goes towards the charity.
Correct. Yeah.
And then you have all these really cool, raffle prizes and stuff like that.
For sure.
Which all the proceeds go to charities and stuff like that. So,
right.
I don't know. In my aspect, it's it's cool to have these events. I mean, it's a vanity event for us, but it's also a social event. It's an event where we all come together, make new friends, meet new people, and we're there to raise money for whatever charity for the night. So, I mean, to me, it's turned into the whole competitive edge was you get that sting that first time you win, and it's you
totally.
go and you go and you go, and then it's you start opening your eyes to more about what the whole thing is.
Yes.
And I mean, that's the point of what I'm trying to do with this is I'm trying to get an understanding of the people that are involved in the community, how they're coming up with their ideas. I mean, typically everyone thinks of beard and mustache community. It's all guys.
Correct.
And the women are really getting pulled into this over the past few years. I mean, I know there's a lot of girls out there like Lindsay Stinner, who at 2014, I think she placed first in the world. They had a women's competition over in Austria at the same time as the world championships, and she ended up winning first place in that. And she's come up with some really great beards over the years. She's kind of faded off as of the past few years, but she definitely blazed the trail for the past few years, especially for all these newer women who are getting involved in it.
Right.
Now, you have some children.
Correct.
And so do you like the events where you can bring your boys with you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we try to go to one or two at least in the year that are kid friendly, and Like even this past year, we went to one in Youngstown, and one of my boys placed second.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now that's pretty much me making their beards because they're little. But, you know, and then the year before that, my other son took first in the kids category. So for me, I feel like that's just as much me competing when my boys get up there.
But it's
and
also,
compete,
it makes it a family thing, because then it's you
is.
and your
It's
husband and your children get to all do something together.
For sure. Yeah, because typically when we go to beard things, it's without our kids.
Yeah.
But they, you know, they see all the action at home, especially from me, because
they're watching you
my
make
beards
them.
typically take weeks and weeks to make. And so even when we were coming here tonight, you know, my husband was explaining to them that, like, oh, mommy's actually judging tonight. And they were like, oh, that's why you didn't make one this time. Because typically I'm spending all this time crafting a beard and everything. And so, but it's a lot of fun, I think, when they do include the kids and have a kids category for them. You know, I mean, I know you feel the same way with your son, because he's competed as well. So it's like,
I think it's my favorite parts are like the sense of community, but then it's the sense of family, and then it's being able to include your entire family in the whole thing, which makes it even cooler. And once again, I think it's something that a lot of people don't realize about they just think it's a bunch of guys getting together, you know, hey, let me pet your beard. It's all really neat and everything, but it's not, it's a smidge about that, but...
Yeah, that's what I get a lot of kind of looks when we tell people that, like, we go to these things, because a lot of times people are like, I don't understand the women's category. Like, do girls actually have beards?
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of, like, you have a real beard growing off your face. It's more the creative aspect of crafting a beard to either look like a real beard or be something creative made out of whatever. And so, you know, it's pretty cool. Like, you know, just to explain that to people, because they are typically confused when I say I compete as well. And I have a slew of trophies, and at home we have this whole bookcase with all of our stuff on it, and I have just as many as Rocky does. So if people are usually like, oh, that's interesting, like, you know, and my kids have a few on there, so that's pretty cool, you know? Like, everyone in the family has a trophy on the wall.
That's way better than a dirt bike trophy.
Oh, totally. Or like a bowling league trophy, you know?
So,
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, well, there's not. I mean, that's, other people might find that as their family thing, so, but it's cool that you guys can do it all together.
It is a lot of fun.
So, all right, well, if you're interested in sharing any other information, such as if you want people to look you up on Facebook, like to see your designs and your beards that you've made.
Yeah, I mean, people are more than welcome to do that. I typically have a lot of photos tagged to me from the different competitions.
What club do you belong to?
That is Beards of the Old Northwest.
All right, so anyone can just go to that Facebook page and they can find pictures of you on there. I'm sure I've taken 100 pictures of you too, so.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah, so. In fact, I do know that there is one picture of you in your Queen of Hearts outfit.
Oh, there you go.
On my website.
That's one of my better ones, so definitely check it out.
So, all right, well, thank you very much, Rachel.
Yeah, thank you.
You're the best.
No way you are.
Stop it.
You stop it.
And I'm back. That was just such a fascinating interview. I loved listening to it. I've listened to it a few times, and I always catch these funny little things that are going on in there. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. I hope, if anything, it was just entertaining. I guess I'm just trying to be more entertaining than anything. I'm trying to be informative, but I don't know how well I am at that. I'm not a teacher, so I'm starting to just realize that I should just more free flow everything instead of really planning things out, because that seems to make me a little uptight and not as free flowing and letting things just come out of my mouth. So I'm here to give you fun stories, fun interviews, and share cool experiences and stories with you that I've come across. So I hope you enjoy them, and I greatly appreciate you coming back and listening to this episode. So like I said, you can go to iTunes, subscribe, rate, leave a comment. That'd be awesome. You can also go to Stitcher. You can I believe you can also subscribe there, and you can rate and leave a comment. I'm not too familiar with Stitcher because I am an Apple guy, so I've always used just the podcasting app on my phone and my computer and through iTunes. So I haven't really experienced Stitcher. I just knew I needed to put it up there for people who use Android phones and stuff, so it works better for them. And check out my website, www.thebeardcaster.com. Check out all my links on there. Donate some money to some cool people that need help. Check out the link to the Multiple Sclerosis Society and check out all the cool stuff they're doing. And I guess that's it for today. Don't forget, email me at thebeardcaster@gmail.com, and we shall see you soon. Thank you again.